Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Demon Slayer. We are on episode 6, and in the last episode, Tanjiro did make it out of the final assessment, which of course I would have been surprised if he didn't, to be fair. I mean, he took out the most notable demon in there, and we also got a little bit of backstory on that guy, on that demon himself, and that he was just influenced obviously by the demon thing. It's not that he was a bad guy or anything like that at all. It's just whatever that demon thing is that has taken over him, just took over him. So yeah, there was that. He chose the ore for his blade, which was a surprising thing because I thought it was just one type of special steel, but no, you have a sort of array of different ores that he could have chosen from. And there seemed to be quite a lot of them as well. And I talked about it last episode in the post discussion about theorizing the idea that not all of them, like all of them must be different in some way. The Scarlet Crimson ore seems like absorbs sunlight, and I assume that is specific to the Scarlet Crimson one. I theorize that there may be another one that is imbued with some kind of wisteria, so it does the wisteria damage to them. I don't know. It's got to be something like that, because I don't know what more there could be. I mean, the only thing is that it would be surprising if, and this is obviously, if each of their, like, those different rocks, are minerals, if each of them is a different ore, and if each of them are equivalent to something that is, good to defeating demons, that's a lot of weaknesses for demons, to be fair. I mean, because right now we only know about sunlight and wisteria. I don't know how many rocks there were there. I feel like there was like double figures at least. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, I'll be surprised. I mean, I'm sure that the other three people that got through, 4 if you're including the one that didn't show up, that they chose all different ones. And if we meet back up with them, I'm sure we'll get some information on that. But yeah, Nezuko woke up. So that's great, and Tanjiro has got his first assignment in which he needs to go to a village to save these young women from getting taken. So yeah, nothing else to really talk about, so we're going to get in episode 6. If you do want to go watch the actual reaction itself, you can do with a link in the description. That'll take you to my website for the 10-minute version. But if you do want to watch the full length, the reaction to that, the link to that will be in the description as well below that one. You will need to be a full-length tier patron in order to watch it, but yeah, that'll just give you the full thing, uncut and everything like that, so go and enjoy that if you wish. But yeah, we're going to go into episode 6 and see what we get, so without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 6. Really, really, really cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't know where to start. I guess I'll start with, like, yeah, I've said this before, like, in another episode, but, like, the thing I'm really liking about this show is that they introduce characters, like, and within less than an episode, like, I really care about them. Like, they're doing a really good job of, like, making you care about the characters. Even, like, Kazumi, I like, really feel for that guy. Because, I mean, at the end of last episode, of course, like, we see that he was the guy that was, on a date, I suppose, with Satoko, and then Satoko just completely disappeared. And I even said at the end of, like, last episode when that happened, I was like, how did you not notice that? Of course, this episode, that's how we know, because he can, like, the Freddy Krueger demon, as I'm calling him, is able to just essentially have a void in which he lives, and he drags them into it. You know what I mean? For those of you who don't know, like, the reason why I'm calling him the Freddy Krueger demon is because in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the kills is on Johnny Depp. Well, not like actually on Johnny Depp when he was, like, he was acting as a character, but the character that Johnny Depp plays gets, like, is on his bed, gets dragged into the mattress, and the only difference was obviously we didn't see blood spurt out because obviously the demon hadn't eaten her yet, and he never got to either, which, thank fuck, I'm happy for that. But Toko is unfortunately gone. But yeah, I mean, I really felt for Kazumi because they did such a good job. Like Tanjiro rolling into town, we see him strolling through the street like battered, and just like in just this state of like just nothing really going on. It's a bit surprising that they actually acknowledged Tanjiro because he seemed that out of it, but Tanjiro's being the only one that would even acknowledge him in a way. I guess that there is something to be said about, like, I guess Kazumi did like appreciate like that. And the rest of the town just basically not giving a shit, like sort of talking, behind behind his back, but just one of those things where it's enough to for him to be able to slightly hear them and stuff, and basically talking under their breath about the whole situation and stuff. And it's definitely tough on him. And then on top of that, like, I assume it was Sakuto's parents, well, the dad in particular, well, all the dad was basically beating the ever living shit out of him. Because I mean, we know obviously that it's not fair, and he doesn't deserve it. You know what I mean? After that shit, and he gets beaten up by her dad. But I guess from the dad's point of view, like, because we now know that demons are not. They're not a widely known thing. It's kind of just hearsay, and it's like, yeah, okay, right, whatever. Just another one of those stories. And even the Demon Slayer calls something like that as well, because Kazumi did actually figure that out. It's just a legend of demons and demon slayers that seem to, it just seems to be a story until something actually happens. And the father just thought that Kazumi had done something to Satoko, whether he killed her or anything, like, so it's understandable, I suppose, from the father's point of view, but it doesn't make it any less like, God, that's sucky for fucking Kazumi, man. The mother was trying to get him to stop, bless her heart. But yeah, I mean, all of that's just sort of like tied into following Tanjiro around, and even saying like, like, I appreciate like the sort of like concern, but like, so even Kazumi, like, under the sort of state that he is in, like, still caring, like, and not wanting to sort of keep this guy, going around for his sake, trying to check stuff. So yeah, Kazumi is a very likable guy, and yeah, like I said, this show is great at sort of just introducing characters and then in such little time making you care for them. It was the same with Sabito and Makimo, and it'll be the same for others, I'm very sure. Same with Giyu as well. So yeah. Anyway, back to the start of the episode. So yeah, first thing basically saw was Tanjiro putting on the uniform that says "Destroy" on the back, and I said a little bit during the reaction, but yeah, it's sort of an interesting sort of dynamic of like the way that Tanjiro is about killing, even demons. Like, he's not, he doesn't like killing, even if it's a demon that does him some wrong. I don't know if it's going to be like a recurring theme that every time he kills like a demon that is, like, I want to call him a named demon, but I've literally just said, like, throughout reactions that they don't have names. They don't give them names. But by a named demon, I mean like a demon that is a prominent demon, like, not like fucking, just the everyday like demon that he kills that doesn't have anything around them. They're just like feral demons that whatever, but like ones that have like personality and like and shit like that. I don't know if it's going to become a recurring theme that every time he kills one, we're going to do a similar thing to what happened with the Edo period demon, where like they've run back through their sort of their past and they get their memories and things like that. It would sort of, I guess it would be like a sort of interesting concept. It was like similar to Assassin's Creed. Like every time you kill a target, it would like, you know, you would be holding them and they would sort of like tell you the reasons why they did things. Sometimes they'll do it, you know, like they'll be sort of, you know, they'd give some sort of understanding to the player of why, and the assassin of like why they did the things they did. It may have ended up being, it started off for like a you know, some kind of noble cause or whatever, but then just turned bad, and you know they just got overrun with power or anything like that. And it could be like something similar like that, which would be sort of a cool sort of thing to have every time he kills a demon. Like, you know, we get a look back, I guess, a sort of little look back into what they were like before they became demons, because that seems to be a sort of almost, as of now anyway, it seems to be something that they are bringing up, like as a like this idea that being a demon isn't the human's fault. Like, you know, it's because the first demon that we truly see is actually Nezuko. We don't see the one that kills Tanjiro's family. So the first one we see is actually Nezuko, and so from then on, I feel like the show is automatically bringing up that idea that it's, you know, the demons are closer to us than, you know, than we think, and it's not that they are just monsters, but they have been turned, and what they once were is not forgotten, kind of thing. So like I said, it is like sort of similar to like zombies in that regard. I think it's more zombies than not. Also, like, forgive me, like, of course I could like sort of, you know, bring up like the similarities to the actual, like, what a Japanese oni or something like that along those lines, but I don't know enough about them. You know, so I can't comment on it because I know for a fact I'll get something wrong. So I'll just say it's mostly, I'll probably say zombies is the most like, you know, maybe werewolves, because werewolves do have like that kind of in and out phase, which it seems like demons can go back to. They have this like some memories in the back of their head when they, so I don't know, whatever, you get what I mean. But yeah, like, I think they're purposefully going around the idea that demons aren't just these monsters that are to be, you know, completely despised, but like, you know, they were humans once, and you know, it's whatever this demon blood has done to them that has caused them to be this way, something that they never really wished to be. I'm sure like at some point in the story there'll be a character that wanted to be a demon, so he like, I don't know, he had like one ensnared and then cut it open, and like, you know, that'll be an interesting one. But I think the majority, like the vast majority of demons that we're going to see in the show, the named ones, the ones with personality and things like that, were just humans once. So it'll be interesting to see if, like, you know, after he kills this one in particular, like, what will we get after that. It's interesting he has multiple personalities. It's the same one though. It's the same person, just multiple personalities. I don't know if that's like I don't know. I don't know if that's an offshoot of like his blood demon art or what. Like, is he forcing? I wouldn't see. I don't know. It would be interesting. Like, I was going to say that I don't think it's him forcing it, because what would be the point? But if he was specifically doing it to like entice demon slayers in a way, you know what I mean? Like, because he has one that is specifically like the fucking, like, the feral like side of him, which is the one that grinds its teeth. Which, fucking hell, the sound design on that, it's fantastic, great sound design. But God, like, wearing fucking earphones with that, Jesus, it was proper piercing. It was horrible. I think they didn't win sound design, did they? For the like, I guess it would be the Crunchyroll Awards, or whatever. They should have done, because the sound design for the show is great. But I think they got best anime though anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, it seems like, yeah. So they've got the feral one. They've got the one that's sort of just like the anger and disdain, and then you've got like the one that is sort of held back and a bit more willing to talk is the wrong turn of phrase. Like, that's just not the right phrase at all. But like, it, he's more like sort of distinguished, as distinguished as a demon could be. Well, I guess not. You probably get no, because, well, I was going to say the new guy, the head demon, or the first demon, Muzan, whatever the hell his name is. But I guess he's not a demon anymore, so that wouldn't count either. There's probably more distinguished demons out there that like, I want a refined taste. You know what I mean? Some fucking demon like that wouldn't surprise me. But I wonder if that's the reason why he created the multiple personalities. If he personally made these three different versions of himself, or if it was just something that wasn't meant to happen. Or it could have been just a case of like, the guy who turned into a demon was like a schizophrenic or something when he was a human, and because of that translated into demon, into like his demon self, but like in a more like a more physical way, that would be interesting. That'll be really interesting, I think. Which would also pair with the fact that I would like, after he killed each of these like demons, that we would go back and just see a little bit about them beforehand, before they were a demon. I just think that'll be a cool addition to the show, but we'll see if that does occur. But that would be really cool, like if because of like your human self mixed with like personality or any distinct sort of like disabilities or things like that you actually have, is something that crosses over into your demon self in like sort of abstract and obscure sort of ways. That would be really cool. But if that is not the case, don't fucking steal it. Copywriting. I'm copywritten it. It's mine, trademarked. But yeah, we'll wait and see what that is. I'm kind of going all about the place. Yeah, the Black Blades thing, Sakonji talked about a little bit, that so little is known about it that it's theorized that they never made it far. Which, yeah, I guess makes sense. I guess the idea that, like, maybe not so much like actually back in the day in reality, but, you get those kind of things like, fantasy tales and things, mythological tales, even if it's like King Arthur, where it's like, it's kind of like, it's got reality, but there's also like myth and legend sort of tied in with that. And then you've got like, like Beowulf and, and like so far as like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and stuff, that names are given to swords, and those swords tend to be like tied to legend due to the sort of achievements that the wielder did with that particular weapon, and it's sort of like made its own legendary sort of like, you get like folklore out of swords and things like that. And I think that's what he's sort of getting into there, like the idea that there was never a prominent wielder of a sword that had a black blade, therefore there's so little known about it. The idea that it's not well known because nobody is worth talking about that had a black blade. I guess that's what he's talking about, which it makes me think that the head of the Demon Slayer Corps, I keep wanting to call it the association, apologies, that like the head would carry a black blade. It would make sense in my head because nobody knows who he is, which is seemingly the way that he wants it to be. And I want to know what the reason for that is. Like, what's the motivation for not wanting to be known about? It could be a case of like, you're the head of an organization that is not recognized by the government, and if that was to become recognized, that he would be held responsible. So it could be that. It could also be like you've got a target on your back, maybe not just from demons, but demon slayers, because there doesn't seem to be a correct ideology that you must have in order to become a demon slayer. Like, it just seems that you can be, you could be an evil guy if you wanted, but you could just become a demon slayer if you want, like, just for the sake of getting the sword. Kind of like what the Batago voice actor guy was doing, like somebody who just wants to sort of rise in sort of prominence for their own sake, as opposed to actually doing it for, for honourable reasons, like Tanjiro. So it could be a case of like you're just having a target sort of, on your back by being the head. It's interesting as well. So Muzan Kibutsuji, the guy who literally looked like Michael Jackson. I mean, that's what he looked like from like the silhouette. I just had a thought there while I was talking about that. The idea that it would be interesting, because this guy is apparently... It's interesting that Sakonji knows about this as well, so it makes me wonder if in the Demon Slayer core it's a bit knowledge. I wouldn't say it's common knowledge, but for the fact that Sakonji's like more of like a veteran, it would make sense that he might, know a bit more about it. But if it seems to be known, at least among the elite, the higher ranks, then it's interesting that he knows about the human side. This guy, he managed to turn himself back from a demon, and also he referred to him as the first demon. I don't know how he knows that knowledge, because he said that was over 1,000 years ago, and I'm pretty sure, unless Sakonji is actually like part demon himself, and he's be able to, because I imagine this is what the case is. Kibutsuji, even though if he might not be the first demon, he may be the first demon to have transformed back, that he is now a human that is able to work with blood demon art. Like, that would not surprise me at all. So now he's become like sort of a superhuman, and that, I guess that would probably tie into the idea of what I said before about if there was a guy, like a human that actually wanted to become a demon, and like that would probably be the reason why, right? It's because you get stronger. Now we'll go on further, and if you're able to go back to human, but while retaining the sort of abilities that a demon has, then you just, check that out. But it's interesting. It seems like sort of set him up as sort of like the big bad right now. But back to my original, I said, like, when I was talking about the head guy of the Demon Corps, like Demon Slayer Corps, I was wondering, it would be interesting, since they don't know who the head guy is, if the head guy is actually that guy. Could you imagine that? Like, so what is assumed to be the first demon is actually the head guy of the Demon Slayer Corps, but he's not a good guy either. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, in my head, like, some sort of story that you could have with him where the reason why he wants them to go to, like, no, because why would he want to kill? I don't know. Maybe he wants demon slayers to be there so that he can kill, like, so that he can sort of keep the demons' numbers low enough so that they don't wipe out the entire of humanity. But maybe Kibutsuji, like, wants to create, like, a race of, maybe his, like, motivation is creating this, like, making humans superhumans, and he wants this race to, like, evolve. That'd be like a cool sort of motivation for, like, wanting to do it. And if he managed to do it, I don't know. But clearly that's where the story is sort of heading. I mean, it's interesting. I wonder if that's like if the mangaka for this story, if the idea was the end of the story is Nezuko becomes a human again. If that is the case, then he will be. I assume he will be he's the big bad then. But yeah, I think it would be cool if he was the sort of head of the core as well. That would be really cool. You know, and I think it would make sense. The idea that, you know, even Sakonji said they don't know how long demons have been around for. I mean, he just said an estimate of like over 1,000 years ago, and this guy was the first demon. But it would make some kind of, I say that would make some kind of sense that like the first demon, if he was to become a human again, would be able to, like, he would be able to set up this kind of thing. I mean, based upon the idea that because Kibutsuji was a demon, he would be able to know the weaknesses and everything, so he would know, if not how to forge a Nichirin sword, would be like, I know the ore that you would need, you know? And he would be able to, like, sort of strive that forward. God, if that is not the case, like, can we get this, like, sort of like in writing to the mangaka and make him write a second version of the story where that is the case? Because I feel like it's so good. You know, like, I don't know, it just seems really good. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's just me just going on fucking just a complete tangent. But yeah, what else? I like that Tanjiro didn't hesitate to stab the floor, even though he didn't know the ins and outs. All he heard was like, they have blood demon art. Like, he doesn't know in what sort of style, like how the blood demon art works. You know what I mean? Like, he would never have come across like the idea that one could just, you know, have its own void that it can open up in the floor, and that he just didn't hesitate, and he was just like, I guess it helped having the woman's scent under there. That it was like, this scent just essentially, you know, came out of nowhere, and it's right underneath me. It must be in the floor. But I like that he just didn't hesitate, man. Really cool. He has 8 forms that we know of his fucking... How? We haven't seen any of this. I know he went and trained for like 2 years, but... And that wasn't even 2 years either. It was like 1 year he was practicing, right? The second years after that, I don't think he was... Because Sakonji wasn't teaching him for the second year. He was just trying to... He was just trying to break the... you know, slice through the boulder at that point. So unless he was making up his own forms, I don't know. But he has 8 of them, man. Jesus. 8 is pretty cool. I don't know how it works in terms of sword play. That, like, you know, like, I guess it's just, you know, just slice in multiple directions around him, like a sort of AoE kind of attack. But we didn't get to see his 5th one, but his second form's, like, so far his second form's my favourite one. I love, I don't know, I love the effect of it. Just a water wheel just looks really cool. So yeah, but we'll see more. But as of now, yeah, second form is my favourite one. Yeah, so Sakonji used hypnotic suggestion whilst Nezuko was under the knife, while she was asleep. And that all humans now are to be seen as family, and demons are the enemy. So it's not necessarily something that she came up with on her own. Basically Sakonji just sort of pushed that out to everybody now. So obviously she had that familial sort of love with Tanjiro. That's just spread to humans now. So that's gonna be great. That was just gonna be, oh god, fucking hell, man. Any reason to make Nezuko cooler, you know? Great. That's gonna be great to watch. So yeah, it's just comforting them now, which is nice. And yeah, I mean that's basically all I've got. Oh yeah, the uniform I forgot because I went straight into the destroy thing. That's a special fabric, so demons won't be able to dig their fangs through it, tear it up with their fucking claws or anything like that. And also, I think he said it was like burn proof as well. Like it's not going to set ablaze. So yeah, there's that. So I don't know if he gets it on fire at some point. It's not gonna go up. I mean, he'll be hot a bit, but we'll see if that ever becomes a thing. But yes, really enjoying this show. So thank you everyone for watching. If you do want to go, obviously, like I said last episode, if you do want to go watch episode 7 and 8 right now, you can do by going over to my Patreon and getting the early access tier. So yeah, you can get access to 2 episodes a week early. There's also full length there, like I said as well. If you do want to watch all of these episodes in full, uncut, then you can do by becoming a full length tier patron as well. Link is in the description for that. There's also other tiers on Patreon where you can pay to have a show reacted to as well. So if you want me to react to a show, go look at those tiers and see what they offer. There's also a link to Discord in the description as well. So if you want to get over there, you can do. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.